coolest station in the world. Let me tell you, it is 6 o'clock, and we are ready to entertain you. So again, it's 6 o'clock, and I just want to say thank you for coming out, my car keys. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with us. And we have our beautiful engineer. Thank you, Queen Sister. I know you're going to do wonderful. Oh my goodness! And I just want to say quickly, I want to give my condolences to a lot of people, a lot of our peers and friends and family. It's a lot going on right now, so I just want to give my condolences to um, to our people, family, and friends um, that has passed on. I would give my deepest condolences and a moment of silence. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been thank God for jazz. I tell you that much. It is, and I always say this in recent times, that it's become my gospel music and my truth music is what I like to call it. So I'm so grateful for that. So I'm going to try a few things here. I want to connect with a few people. So yeah, I want to just yep. So we're going to do that. Yep, right. So again, thank everyone for coming to the Preservation of Jazz Hour. So I just want to jump in with a tune from one of the most prolific singers of our time, and with one of my favorite tunes.
I think about the life I live, a figure made of clay, and think about the things I lost, the things I gave away. And when I'm in a certain mood, I search the halls and look. One night I found these magic words in a magic book. Throw it away, throw it away. Give your life, give your love, each and every day. And keep your hand wide open, let the sun shine through. 'Cause you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you. There's a hand that rocks the cradle, and a hand to help us stand, with a gentle kind of motion as it moves across the land. And the hands unclenched and open, gifts of life and love it brings. So keep your hand wide open if you need anything. Throw it away, throw it away. Give your love, live your life each each and every day. And keep your hand wide open.
That was Hello Ibrahim, my beautiful music director and friend, King Ibrahim. Welcome to the Preservation of Jazz Hour, and that was Abby Lincoln, Throw It Away. So I'm excited. I'm excited again to introduce another Preservation of Jazz Hour Out of the Mouth of Music series, which it is a 5-year series that I've given myself a goal, 5 years of just nonstop the preservation of jazz, featuring Out of the Mouth of Jazz, featuring jazz, just giving a moment in my life where I can concentrate on outside of other things, outside of other things, that I can just give homage to jazz and what jazz has meant to me. Okay, Ibrahim, you might as well just come on up here. Are you back in town? You might as well just come on up here and sit down with us, and have a cocktail with us. And yeah, I know you just, ladies and gentlemen, Ibrahim is on our on our Facebook Live. You know, we are live streaming. We're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, and comment, and subscribe. Again, thank you for watching the WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. I was just telling the engineers that how grateful I am, because I've always wanted to do radio and live streaming and all of those things, and so but I'm learning every day, and I'm not going to give up. So I guess one day, prayerfully, my my earlier tapes, maybe it will mean something to somebody. Maybe you can take a look inside my soul. Maybe I will help somebody, or maybe it will mean something. Right now, I'm just grateful to be a part of a team that's trying to get the information out. So, our topic is today is Abby Lincoln, and I'm incredibly grateful for her music, because I was on the road for almost 15 years. I was on the road searching for empathy and compassion, and Abby Lincoln was a woman that I had stumbled up on in New Orleans. And her music changed my life. Absolutely. Absolutely, her music changed my life, changed my language on how I wanted to speak and how I wanted to be perceived. And honestly, I have to say, she's going to change my life immensely, because I'm learning that the sweet talk is pretty much for at home. Everybody doesn't, being in the industry, the sweet talk sometimes can be very deceptive. It can be very confusing to people that have ill intent. In the jazz community, we are all, I love you too, we are all a part of something. But then you have this group of people that gravitate to what they think you are on stage, and that perception can be very dangerous. It can be very dangerous, and it could be very confusing to the weak. So on my way here, I began to meditate and understand that there might be might be a misconception of my spirit, and that's okay because I want to explain that I am a jazz singer and I want to get along with people and I want to be the best I can be for you and I want to learn and you're pretty much watching. I don't know if you could say you're watching me grow up because I'm 50 now, but there's been people that's been watching me grow up. That being said, in my music, in our music, in jazz music, that the older we are, we become, that we're blessed to become, we as artists, as fans, as music listeners, we all have to grow together. It's very important to me to talk about this today because worship in any form can be very dangerous. And jazz has a tendency, music in general, but jazz, because I am a jazz performer, has a tendency to blur the stage and real life. And I just want to share with you, be careful with that. Okay? Be careful with that moment that you see that artist on stage and that moment that you begin to put your own ideals on that artist. It can be very dangerous, especially if you are a jazz, if you're following jazz and you need jazz to relax you, and you need to form a group, and you want jazz to become a family for you. You have to be careful because jazz is a very improvisational language. I don't do astrology anymore. I don't believe in it, but I still understand the coincidences. So, for example, jazz being in some form of fashion, say a Gemini. And if you are coincidental, a Gemini, you might have these levels of awareness, or these levels of communication, or these levels of intimacy, or what's the other word would be? What would be the opposite of intimacy? You might not want to be around people. You might want to be, I don't want to say hermit, but we'll just use hermit because I'm trying to get somewhere and I'm excited, so my mind is working like a laptop when you really need it. So what I'm doing is just waving. So say you hear, okay, for example, say you hear Shaka Khan. Okay? So you hear Shaka Khan, and then you hear someone singing Shaka Khan. I'm every woman, it's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally. So when you go to the R&B concert, of course, you're like, I want to hear all those peaks and highs and all of that. Well, you can't really, well, you can, but I don't want you to be disappointed that jazz doesn't work that way. Jazz is an improvisational thing. No singer should ever perform jazz the same way. And unfortunately, if the singer is doing it the exact same way, that might be something that those may be a demon that they may have to deal with, because it's like, the whole point of jazz is to change every time. The freedom of jazz is improvisation. That is the true freedom of jazz. That's why I love jazz, and that's why many love jazz, and that's why with R&B, I admire our R&B singers, because an R&B singer has to hit that note, right? right? That R&B singer has to hit that note. And if you don't hit that note, you might lose a fan. And for me, that was a large responsibility. So I did shy away from R&B. But when I, for example, like Nina Simone, Neil, Faye Bradford, Chrisette Michelle, which she's kind of neo soul, but still that R&B, Beyonce, Christy, let's see, oh my goodness, she just had a birthday, Carmen, Sharon Love Jones does a lot of R&B, and I actually had a event, a wedding, and I actually hired Sharon to do the R&B stuff because I didn't want to disappoint them, but I still wanted to do the lovey stuff. So we have to be careful the expectations that we put on jazz musicians, because jazz musicians, uh, most important thing is to be able to improv, and that's the freedom of jazz. So I just want to make sure that we know that. So when you're listening to jazz, that when you hear the jazz person of your choice, and you go to the show and you're waiting for them to do the thing that they did, they're not going to do it, you and then if you expect them to do it, then are you're kind of a, without, I don't want to put you down in any other, in no other way, but I just want to say I want you to be well versed in the music that you listen to, because the phenomenon of jazz is to improv. That's the phenomenon of jazz. So just remember that, and that's why we love our R&B singers so much. That's why we pay homage to our R&B singers. For example, I lived in New Orleans for 15 years. Shout out to our beautiful sister Marisa, and Mustang Sally on Bourbon Street. You would hear that all the time. I would get those gigs, but you know what? I had to be honest. I said, if I had to do Mustang Sally the same way every night for 15 to 16 years, I wouldn't be, I personally don't have the wherewithal to do that, and that was not something that Yah gave me to do. But jazz, on the other hand, I've been very blessed to maintain being a jazz musician, because I do enjoy improv, and I do enjoy um, dancing with the beats, and I take it very seriously. That's why when I do shows, and it's very hard for me to to just get up and just live the day in a regular way, because I take from my body, and I take things from my body that is I take from it. So, but I just want to say, I take from it, and it drains me, because I'm pulling from my soul, I'm pulling from my spirit. And so I just want to say again, it's 6:19, and you are watching the Preservation of Jazz Hour live. Yes, hello Charles, hello Cheyenne Green, hello everyone, and thank you. I didn't put in the subject line that this is the Preservation of Jazz Hour, but we're here every Wednesday at 6, and you are my guest. You're my special guest. Every so often, we'll get a special guest call in, but I'm learning that maybe I'm just going to go with the flow. Okay. So again, you're watching the Preservation of Jazz, our live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter and other top social media platforms. Please, as you are watching on Facebook Live, can you please go to YouTube and subscribe? Because I am new to this portion of entertainment, and I'm learning as I go. But I need more subscribers, and I think I need to show my hello Cree, hello the beautiful, oh hello Cree, hello y'all. I need to just do more with my subscribing. I need to push more, and I will, and I am. So that's what we learned today, right? Let me know that you understand about jazz. That jazz, when you go to a jazz concert, be ready and be open to your jazz musician going anywhere, and don't get so hooked on those favorite parts, because jazz is not that, and that's okay. But remember, jazz is an improvisational music, okay? And we all are still learning about music and what makes music dynamic and amazing. And every genre of music has its own special ability to feed you. Okay, hello Tiger, hello, and thank you all. I appreciate you all coming and hanging out with me, and thank you for our WJZZ Cool TV. So hey, please go to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. So I just want to do a little update on our show for the Satin Doll review. It was amazing. It's overwhelmingly delicious. I have my all-star cast, although there are a few other women in the industry that I would like to bring to the stage. That's going to require more money, and it's coming. I'm okay with that, but I am coming for you, and it will. Don't get comfortable again, because it's jazz. Don't get comfortable with just the 8, because my dream is to have a plethora of women on that stage, and I'm super excited about that. So again, we are at WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, and our topic tonight is Abbey Lincoln. But before I talk anything and say anything more about Abbey Lincoln, I just want to thank all of the wonderful ticket holders for coming out and making the Satin Doll review a sold out show, and making it just making it something beautiful and something wonderful. Okay, again, and my best friend, hello Tishka Markham, and I just want to say thank you. I love you. And so let's get to it. So I did, before I get into some Abbey Lincoln, I did find some beautiful jazz quotes, which you always come to the show, and I'll always share some jazz quotes. So Dave Brubeck, there is a way of playing safe. There's a way of using tricks, and there's a way I like to play, which is dangerously, where you're going to take a chance on making mistakes in order to create something you haven't created before. And to me, that's jazz. So I want you to, even as you're listening to jazz, I want you to open your spirit, open your heart, and begin to become a jazz musician. Just don't listen to jazz, but listen to the conversation that each musician is having. Every musician has a voice. Now, when you find those musicians that they just mesh together, it's because they are doing a tango together. They are sharing. They have the ability to allow another person to step before them. They have the ability, which in Hebrew, is called salakia. They have the ability to quietly say that word, and the musician will step back, and then He'll forge his way in between those beautiful those beautiful pauses, because life is what each of us make in the pause. Because a conversation to me is jazz. A conversation is the dynamics of the pause. Of, like, for example, my friend is on our Facebook. My friend has this amazing creative way of storytelling, and me, I if I'm not performing it, I tend to just be very excited about it, and if I write it, I can write it amazingly well. But I do tend to just be excited, and that's where scats come in. But if you're not a jazz artist and you want to have a decent, great conversation or a great debate, it's the pause. It's always the pause that makes the conversation the greatest. Absolutely the greatest. So the preservation of jazz hour for me is not just having people on, but talking about ways that I can share with you a piece of how I interpret what jazz truly is. And jazz truly is, in a lot of its momentous qualities, is the pause, is the improv, and is the creativity. So I have another. Oh, and I just want to say that's what I drew from Dave Brubeck's. There is a way of playing safe. There is a way of using tricks, and there is a way I like to play, which is dangerously. When you're going to take a chance on making mistakes in order to create something you haven't created before. Now, that could also mean making mistakes can also mean kind of just like bombarding the conversation without the pause, not giving a person to breathe that was just sharing. So that could mean that too. So another jazz quote that I found: "When the music changes, so does the dance," and that's also one of those amazing moments when the pause takes control. Another, this one is an African proverb, just like the one before was: "A master drummer must have seven eyes." Yeah. This is Art Blakely. Art Blakey, excuse me. Jazz washes the dust of everyday life. Another, author unknown: "Jazz is an open ended music designed for open minds." That's powerful. So, ode to jazz and ode to jazz quotes. Give me a jazz quote, and I will give you 2 tickets to the next show, December 26th at the Tangent Gallery for the Satin Down Review. So let's get into it. It's 6:28, 6:29, and we are here, and you are watching the preservation of Jazz Hour live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Again, thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Okay. So let's get into the beautiful Abbey Lincoln. For those who don't know much about Abbey Lincoln, I did make some notes. Born in Chicago but raised in Calvin Center, Cass County, Michigan, Lincoln was one of the many singers influenced by Billie Holiday. Her debut album, Abbey Lincoln's Affair, a story of a girl in love, was followed by a series of albums on Riverside Records in 1960s She sang on Match Roke's Land Park civil rights theme recording, We Insist. Lincoln's lyrics were often connected to the civil rights movement in America after the tour of Africa in the mid 1970s. She adopted the name Amanita Musika. During the 1980s, Lincoln's creative output was smaller and she released only a few albums. Her song, For All We Know, was featured in the 1989 film Drugstore Cowboy. During the 1990s and until her death, however, she fulfilled a 10-album contract with Verve Album. These albums are highly regarded and represent the crowning achievement in Lincoln's career. Devil's Got Your Tongue, 1992, featured Rodney Kendrick, Grady Tate. Devil's Got Your Tongue, 1992, Euron Israel, J.J. Johnson, Stanley Turrentine, and Baba Tunde, Olatunji, and the Staple Singers, among others. In 2003, Lincoln received the National Endowment of the Arts Jazz Master Award. Her lyrics reflected the ideals of the civil rights movement and helped in generating passion for the cause in the minds of her listeners. In addition to her musical career, she ventured into acting as well and appeared in movies such as The Girl Can't Help It, Nothing But a Man, and one of my favorites, For Love of Ivy. So let me tell you, if you have not experienced Abbey Lincoln, if you haven't seen her movies, then please, Abbey Lincoln, okay? Check her out, because Abbey Lincoln, she is amazing. She is an amazing singer, spirit, poet, and I just want you to know all about her. She explored more philosophical themes during the later years of her songwriting career and remained professionally active until her 70s. So she had a full life. She often visited the Blue Note Jazz Club in New York City. In 1956, Lincoln appeared in The Girl Can't Help It, for which she wore a dress that had been worn by Marilyn Monroe in Gentlemen Prefer Blonde in 1953 and interpreted the theme song Working with Benny Carter. With Ivan Dixon, she co-starred in Nothing But a Man in 1964, an independent film written by and directed by Michael Homer. So let me just play a little Abbey for you. Again, the earlier we played Throw It Away. This tune here, let's see here what we'll play. This is one of my favorite tunes, Avec le Tien. It's French. My French is not that well, but I have something for you. December 16th, I will be performing the Abbey Lincoln tribute, because it's definitely time.
Le visage et l'on oublie le voir, le cœur qu'on s'en va plus, c'est pas la peine d'aller chercher plus loin, faut laisser faire et c'est très bien. Avec le temps va tout s'en va, l'autre qu'on adorait, qu'on cherchait sous la pluie, l'autre qu'on devinait, au-dessous dans le cœur, entre les mots, entre les lignes sous le phare, dans ce monde maquillé qui s'en va faire sa nuit. Avec le temps, tout s'évanouit. Avec le temps, avec le temps va, tout s'en va. Même les plus chouettes souvenirs, ça taoune de ce gueux. À la gare, il fafoule dans la rayon de la mort. Le samedi soir, quand la tendresse s'en va toute seule. Avec le temps va, tout s'en va. L'autre qui l'encoye, pour ou pour rien. L'autre qui l'en donnait, tout vendait des bijoux. Pour qu'il en ne vende doucement pour quelques sous. Devant quoi on se tenait, comme à traîner les chiens. Avec le temps, va, tout va bien.
I have to, yeah, because I want you to go and listen to her right after the show. Please go and just Abby Lincoln tonight. A Turtle's Dream. Oh, softly as the morning sunrise. I tell you, she she's a poet. She's a jazz poet, and it's an amazing her. She's just an amazing artist, and it's unfortunate that a lot of times that we just skip over some of the best things that life had to offer. Some of the best things that life had to offer. So I just want to continue to read with Avon Dixon. She co-starred in Nothing But a Man, an independent film written and directed by Michael Romer. In 1968, she co-starred with Sidney Poitier and Bo Bridges in For Love of Ivy and received a 1969 Golden Globe nomination for her appearance in the film. Television appearances began in 1968 with The Name of the Game in March 1969 for WGBH TV Boston in one of the 10 episode series of individual dramas written, produced, and performed by blacks on Being Black, as her work in Alice Childress' Wine in the Wilderness. She appeared in Mission Impossible in 1961, the year I was born, and telemovie Short Walk to Daylight in 1972. Marcus Welby, MD, 1974, and All in the Family in 1976. Now, you may remember her in the 1990 Spike Lee movie Mo Better Blues. Abby Lincoln played the young Bleak's mother, Lillian. Her personal life: Lincoln was married from 1962 to 1970 to one of our favorite drummers, Max Roach, whose daughter from a previous marriage, Maxine, appeared on several of Lincoln's albums. Lincoln died on August 14th, 2010 in Manhattan, 8 days after her 80th birthday. Her death was announced by her brother, David Woolbridge, who told the New York Times that she had died in Manhattan nursing home after suffering suffering her health ever since undergoing heart open surgery in 2007. No cause of death was officially given. She was cremated and her ashes were scattered. We just want to say, oh, to Abby Lincoln, we love you and we appreciate you. And look her up. Look Abby Lincoln up, and let's keep her music going, because it's so important that we do that, and it's so important that we um, keep the preservation of jazz going. So 313-355-6018. Do you have any thing that you want to add to our event, our wonderful meeting tonight? Please feel free to call in. If you have an Abby Lincoln story, if you have some information, if you have a jazz story that you would like to share, because this is the Preservation of Jazz Hour. And if you have a jazz quote you would like to share, give me a call. This will be the perfect time to do so. So I just want to say I'm so grateful to be a part of the Preservation of Jazz Hour here at WJZZ Cool TV. And I love being here, and it's challenging me. Hello, beautiful Don. I just want to, Don E. Webb, I just want to say thank you, Don. Don was our stage manager for the Satin Dow Review, and she did a wonderful job. And looking forward to working together again. And again, you know, the tickets are on sale, and they're $35, and you get a plethora of amazing jazz artists and all that good stuff. It's just going to be an amazing time. So I want you to remember, to me, that jazz is a treasure from the hearts and soul of so-called black people. A music hidden in the roots of our hair, our air, and our savoir-faire. Some believe jazz is a music genre that originated in the African American communities of New Orleans in the late 19th and early 20th century, with its roots embedded in blues and ragtime. But for me, jazz is a chosen art. We are the salt of the earth type of music. Jazz is improvisation, jazz is prayers, jazz is conversation, jazz is getting along, jazz is fighting the good fight, jazz is coming together and talking about something outside of ourselves, and reinvesting our time together and making music. That's what jazz is for me, and I hope that you will look at jazz a little different too. That jazz needs us. It needs us to not celebrate it or worship it, but jazz has been pretty good to us, and I just want you and all of my peers and family and friends to understand that the preservation of jazz is needed in this era and time. That a lot of the things that we question can be answered with a prayer and a little jazz in the background, and maybe a little non-chopper to go with the ambiance. I am going to play another tune by Abby Lincoln, and I just want to say that we have a few events going on. Go check out Love Williams at Baker's Keyboard Lounge tomorrow night. Yes, do that. Don E. Webb has a show at 6 o'clock the same time. Jazz Cats, right? Check out Don's show. She always has great musicians and artists. We also have a salsa party at La Casa. We have one of my favorite bands, PD9, Planet D, Note, live at the Cashew Cafe. We also have Crying in H Mart. On Sundays we have Sky Covington and Club Crescendo at Woodbridge Pub. We also have Bill Myers on Thursday night as well. You can maybe split your night up. We also have Scott Grinnell at the Jazz Cafe on Sunday. Check out London Chop House, The Dirty Dog, and make sure you check out Baker's tomorrow night. Tickets are $15. We're gonna do a tune or play a tune here. I'm so curious to hear it. Golden Lady.
Looking in your eyes, kind of heaven eyes, and I'm closing both my eyes, waiting for surprise to see the heaven in your eyes is not so far, 'cause I'm not afraid to try and go in to know the love and beauty never known before. I'll leave it up to you to show it. And golden lady, golden lady, I'd like to go there. Golden lady, golden lady, I'd like to go there. Take me right away.
That was Golden Lady, and that was Amita Musaka featuring Archie Shep, and that was on her Golden Lady album. And I'm still learning because I would have added that to my set because I love that tune. If anybody knows me, they know I'm in love with Stevie Wonder, and so that I mean I gotta make sure that when was that even done? Was this did Stevie Wonder? Okay, Intervisions was done on August 3rd, 1973. So that had to be around that time. She also does a cover of For All We Know, but I learned that the For All We Know is actually Hathaway did not even he didn't write that tune, in fact. So I'm telling you, I'm just all hype. I'm just so excited about all of this new music. So let me just let you all know too. Let's give it up for Nina Simone playing Dinah Washington, Thornetta Davis playing Bessie Smith, Kimmy Horn playing Sarah Vaughan, myself playing Billie Holiday, Nicole Calmer, also known as Lady Love, playing Carmen McRae, Faye Bradford playing Nina Simone. It was an amazing, amazing night. And I just want you all to know that I'm grateful. And get your tickets because this is a perfect time for the holy days. You know, this is a perfect time. It's going to be on December 26th. Okay, so we have about 4 minutes left for me to talk to you and for me to entertain you. So I just want to make sure that I let you know that I am. Oh, shoot. What are we doing? I want to tell you something. And I can't remember. Oh, Will Downing will be here. Will Downing will be here December the 3rd, I think. So check out Will Downing. He will be here. And make sure you all hang out at the Bakers. Show Bakers some love, you all. And make sure that you are kind to one another, that you are patient with one another, that you are loving, that you play some music, and that you inspire. It's not about us. Let's do that. Let's just always understand that it's not about us. We are not here for ourselves. We are here for everyone else. And then prayerfully that someone will be here for you, because you don't have to be here for you. You don't have to be here for you because it's designed for someone else to be here for you. Again, you are watching the Preservation of Jazz Hour with your hostess, Sky Covington. It's an honor to be here and just to spend a little time with you. I hope that that I inspired you just a little bit, and I hope that you'll play a little jazz tonight. Remember, we are live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV. Thank you for my beautiful Facebook friends for just hanging out with me. And I love you and I appreciate you. And we have about 2 minutes to go. So I just want you to remember, play some Abby tonight. And then buy a ticket because I'm going to be performing Abby Lincoln December 16th at the Baker's Keyboard Lounge. And I'm doing 2 shows.
For all,
ladies and gentlemen, for all we know. Good night.
We may never meet again.
Peace to everyone. Thank you so much. I love y'all. Bye-bye.
Before you go, make this moment sweet again. We won't say goodnight.
Good night, everyone. I'll see you next Wednesday. Same place, same time.